Hello students, how are you all? Today I am going to deal Hearts and Hands for class 9 students written by O. Henry. Students, O. Henry was an American writer whose actual name was William Sidney Potter, and O. Henry is the pen name of William Sidney Potter, and he was one of the most outstanding short story writers. And I hope you have studied some of the famous short stories of O. Henry, like The Gift of Magi, The Last Leaf, etc. There are many. O. Henry's short stories are well known for their ready wit, gentle humor, and surprise endings. Everywhere, mostly in his short stories, you will get surprise endings. Students, Hearts and Hands describes the chance encounter on a train between two acquaintances. Acquaintances means two persons familiar with each other but not so close friends or not so well known persons to each other. And here you will get basically three characters: Miss Fairchild, a pretty young woman with a lovely smile; Mr. Easton, a handsome, bold, honest face. Actually, he was a convict or prisoner. Then you will get Marshall, who is a ruffled, glum-faced person who is heavily built, a stout person but roughly dressed. The story Hearts and Hands begins on a train in Denver when we are introduced to Miss Fairchild, who is elegantly dressed and is seated in one coach. Then two people arrive who are handcuffed to each other. Miss Fairchild recognized one of them to be her acquaintance, Mr. Easton. Let's start the chapter. At Denver, there was an influx of passengers into the coaches on the eastbound B&M Express. So, underline influx means arrival of large number of people. So, it's a eastbound train, and the name of the train is B&M Express. In one coach, there sat a pretty young woman dressed in elegant, richly dressed in a very stylish manner, elegant taste, and surrounded by all the luxuries, comforts of an experienced traveler. So these are the details of the lady, and right now we are not introduced with the name or familiar with the name. Later on we will be introduced with the name. Among the newcomers were two young men, one of the handsome presence with a bold, frank countenance and manner, the other a ruffled, glum-faced person, heavily built and roughly dressed. The two were handcuffed together. So in this particular paragraph, students, we learn that a train starting from somewhere in the west coast in Denver is going to the east coast, and a detail of the traveler, not given the name right now, but that she is traveling in B&M Express. She is a pretty young woman dressed in rich clothing, and she is surrounded by all the luxurious comforts. This shows that she is someone who travels a lot or a frequent traveler. So her behavior, her conducts, her demeanor, her appearance are like an experienced traveler. And that moment, two newcomers, two young men who were handcuffed together, who were chained together, arrived the place, and both of them were discussed in detail. One of them was very bold, frank, and the facial features, countenance and manners of a handsome person. The other was a very untidy, ruffled, glum-faced, unhappy, moody person who was heavily built, or you can say with a strong and stout body, was roughly dressed. Next paragraph. As they passed down the aisle of the coach, the only vacant seat offered was a reversed one facing the attractive young woman. Here the linked couple seated themselves. Students underline linked couple. The phrase linked couple is used because they were handcuffed. So the two persons arrived and they just took their place opposite to the lady. The young woman's glance fell upon them with a distant, swift disinterest. Then with a lovely smile brightening her countenance and a tender pink tinging her rounded cheeks, she held out a little grey gloved hand. So first you will see that first the young woman with little disinterest ignored those persons. But within a second, she, with a lovely smile, because she recognized one of them, and with blushings, his cheeks were blushing, she held out a little grey gloved hand. Grey gloved hand means she was wearing gloves. When she spoke, her voice, full, sweet and deliberate, proclaimed that its owner was accustomed to speak and to be. As she recognized one of them from her voice and facial expression, the lady appeared to be an arrogant person. When she spoke for the first time in the coach to one of the passengers, she commanded to be given the chance to speak first. It seemed that she was accustomed to speak and be heard. Her impression and behavior was guided by the social images that blinded her from seeing the reality. So, let's see the next one. Well, Mr. Easton, if you will make me speak first, I suppose I must. Don't you ever recognize old friends when you meet them in the West? And students underline this one. Don't you ever recognize old friends? It's a little sarcasm because here we are introduced with one of the passengers, his name is Mr. Easton, and she just in a sarcastic way she introduced herself, that whether Mr. Easton was recognizing her or not. The younger man roused himself sharply at the sound of her voice, seemed to struggle with a slight embarrassment, which he threw off instantly, and then clasped her fingers with his left hand. So when the two newcomers got the vacant seat just opposite to the young lady in the whole coach, she just threw a glance on them from a distance and with a lovely smile greeted them. Then in a sarcastic way she introduced herself to and offered a handshake to Mr. Easton. But suddenly the man was little embarrassed because his hands were chained with the handcuff. It's Miss Fairchild, he said with a smile. By hearing the voice, immediately he recognized the lady, and the name of that young lady was Miss Fairchild. I will ask you to excuse the other hand. It's otherwise engaged just at present. So here Mr. Easton extended his left hand, which is odd and unusual because you are expected to extend the right hand in a handshake, but it was handcuffed, so he just extended, Mr. Easton extended his left hand and asked sorry for extending the other hand, means the left hand. He slightly raised his right hand, bound at the wrist by the shining bracelet. He refers to Mr. Easton. To the left one of his companion. The glad look in the girl's eyes slowly changed to a bewildered horror. The glow faded from her cheeks. Her lips parted in a vague, relaxing distress. Easton, with a little laugh, as if amused, was about to speak again when the other forestalled him. Now, students, please underline some of the words. First, you underline bracelet. Here, O. Henry, in a sarcastic manner, presented the handcuffs as shining bracelet. Then, underline bewildered horror. This means a little when Miss Fairchild was introduced with the bracelet, her expressions, facial expressions changed, and she became confused. And horror means she was in a confused fear. Her glow faded. Her glow from her cheeks vanished from her cheeks. Then underline the word forestalled, means stopped him. When the other, underline other. Here other means the other co-passenger, the co-passenger of Mr. Easton, means the unnamed marshal. So in this context, students, try to understand properly. Marshal was looking and listening to the exchange of words taking place between Miss Fairchild and Mr. Easton. When the young woman saw the handcuffs on her friend's wrist, the glad look in her eyes slowly changed to a bewildered horror. The glow faded, or the glow vanished from her cheeks. The other man, means the marshal, sensed or felt Easton's embarrassment and volunteered to clear the doubt in Miss Fairchild's mind about the handcuffs, and said that Easton was the marshal and he was the convict, and they were headed for Leavenworth prison. It's 7 years for counterfeiting. So underline counterfeiting means forgery, copying a document or signature. So you will excuse me for speaking. Here, who is the speaker? Marshal. That he is asking sorry for interrupting in between the conversation going on between Miss Fairchild and Mr. Easton. And then he tried to clarify with his lie. He wanted to clarify. He wanted to save Easton from the embarrassment. So the marshal introduced Easton as a marshal and himself as a convict. Underline pen. Here pen means prison. Actually pen means animal enclosure, but here prison. So he will do it and it will make things easier for me there. So here Marshall tried to save Mr. Easton from the embarrassment in front of his acquaintance Miss Fairchild. So students, please read up to these paragraphs and try to understand the meaning, note down the word meanings and read all the paragraphs properly, and I shall continue the chapter in my next video.